Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome and thank you so very much for joining me. I missed you yesterday. I didn't post a video, but I'm back in the game today. And I'm going to decorate some envelopes. And so I wanted to share this with you. And this is almost like everything else I do. There isn't a right or wrong way. The idea is many of us buy white envelopes because they're less expensive. And maybe you have the straight flap kind. I probably have the other kind. Maybe you have like the triangle. Whatever you have, you probably have a bunch of white because they're less expensive. You can buy them in bulk. They come in those card and envelope packs. I buy them because I don't know how many purple, yellow, or orange I'm going to want, but I know I'll always use white. So then what I do before I put my cards in them is I like to decorate them, and I don't overthink it. There are people who do amazing envelope art and it's all beautiful and they hand letter. That's not what we're doing here. What we're doing is putting some color on an envelope. So for example, I have a couple of snowman cards right here. Okay, I've been making a lot of wintry cards. So what I'll do is I'll get out 10 or 15. If I have 20 of those wintry cards to give out, I'll get out 10 or 15 envelopes and I'll lay them all out. And the idea is just to stamp them and just to make them different. We're not doing rocket science here. Like for the ones I'm giving out at work, I just want them to be different. I don't have a strong preference on how they look one way or the other. I just want them decorated and I don't want them all the same. Well, they won't be all the same because I'm doing them by hand. And you'll notice I'm stamping it 3 times, so I have different levels of saturation. That's a great trick, especially for interest and if you don't have a lot of different inks. And then I'm going off the edge of the envelope, so I always have a piece of scratch paper, because if I do this on my glass mat and I move this envelope, it'll smear because I won't stop and clean up every time. There's an art term for going off of the edge. I don't know what it is, but it just makes it more fun. It's better. So there I have one decorated and I'm done. I also have some really fun sentiments. This one talks about Christmas, so I wouldn't necessarily use this one for work, but we'll use this on a different card just so you can see, and I would use it for a Christmas card. I'm using archival ink. It's waterproof and doesn't smear. For years and years and years, I used my basic Stampin' Up! Dye-based inks on envelopes, and none of my friends ever said, oh, your card was ruined when it got there. It's okay if you have non-permanent ink on your envelope. You have it inside your envelope anyway most of the time, so use what you have. If you don't have any stamps and ink but you have Sharpies, take your pen and put some swirls on it. Just add a little Christmas cheer to that bad boy. All right? People get so much boring mail. Give them something fun in their mailbox. This one is super ancient, and I think it would work for something small, but I don't think it will work for this sentiment. I don't think it'll cover the whole thing and make it legible, so I'm going to use this green one. Also with me, there's always a chance that my stamps are dirty, so sometimes it's a surprise what you're going to get. And the reason I'm going upside down like that is because these are such tiny ink pads. I got the tiny ones because I wanted a lot of colors and I wasn't sure how much I would use them. There we go. And there are no rules. I don't like rules. You guys know that when I'm crafting anyway. This is a great project to do with the grandkids. If they're visiting you and you want to make the envelopes a little more fancy before you send them out, there is never too much envelope art, right? Because people just get boring stuff in their mailbox all day long. So you can decorate. I try and do it with the flap up, the flap open when I'm decorating, because come on, we've all done it upside down, right? So if you're using a sentiment stamp, I try and do it with the flap up, but you can close it on the back and then stamp this way too. And then don't forget, before you send them out, you have probably, I'm going to guess, a lot of washi tape in your stash. So put some washi across that envelope. That's way more fun than it was, right? The other thing is, when I'm doing my envelopes, like if this was the main sentiment on the card, I wouldn't use it on the envelope because I don't want to like spoil it. So I'll use, if they're winter cards, I'll do snowflakes and stuff on the outside. If they're Christmas cards, I'll probably have red and green on the outside. I try to decorate it so that it somewhat matches my envelope, but not so that it, or my card, but not so that it steals the card's glory. Does that make sense? I mean, if you just think about it, it makes total sense. So you could use markers, you could use any inks or stamps that you have. I don't usually glue things to the outside, like I haven't glued die cuts or anything, but I don't know, maybe if you don't have any stamps, you could do it that way. The other thing you could do is you could stencil on the outside, right? If you don't have, let's grab something. Okay, say you're a mixed media person and you don't have any stamps at all, but you have distress oxides and you have stencils because you do mixed media and you've just gotten into cards. My stencil moved because I'm me and I didn't tape it down. And distress oxides wouldn't be my first choice for an envelope because if they get wet, they are going to be a little weird, but they're going to be fun, right? There you go. So you have got to have something in your stash that you could decorate envelopes with. That's really cute. I've never actually used stencils on an envelope until this moment. I thought I was done, but then I remembered two more things I wanted to tell you. First of all, you don't need holiday stamps for this. Anything that you have that has some color or some shape to it, just use it. Just turn it into a holiday stamp. So if you've got some shapes, or I think this is a flower stem, but I could use it as a swirly. This is the trail for a bee, but they're just fun ways to get color. A heart, yeah, who doesn't love a heart for any holiday? Stars, same thing. So just look at your stamps differently and go crazy with them. Then the other thing is, anytime you want to do a bunch, see how I have the 4 envelopes touching here? Let me show you how I would do this. I would take probably stars, because I like stars. I thought somewhere I had a big version of this stamp that has 3 snowflakes on it, but I have lost it, I think. It's not that I would have donated it. Those are my personal stamp exchange hoard. This one too, from the 90s. Okay, so then take your stamp like this and just stamp like you would, but you're getting both of them, right? So then you've gone off the edge and you haven't wasted any time, any cleanup, nothing like that. Does that make sense? So you can lay out a whole bunch of them and get some interest going all at once, and nobody's going to realize you did them in bulk. If you have little kids help you, sometimes it's really good. If it's super little kids, just put your hand right here. Or, because I don't use labels, so I want to be able to read right there. You know, you can just let them go too. So anyway, use it so that they connect, so you're not wasting one single minute of your stamping time. So thanks so much for watching, and be sure that you're sending out fun envelopes. And if you want to do amazing envelope art and spend an hour decorating an envelope, go for it. But I can do about 20. I can probably do 20 in about 5 minutes. I just do them really quick and lay them out, and don't put your washi on until you're ready to mail it. That was just an example for you guys. Okay, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.